Hey, hey, Philip, how are you, man?
I'm good, Vlad. Pleasure to finally talk to you, man. Good stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was editing this
Yeah.
film for the last few months, so I feel like I know you pretty well right now.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, man. So we are
it's been
just
a whirlwind, that's for sure.
yeah, we're just a few weeks away from the release of the Generation I4, man, starring yourself and many other natural athletes. And I feel like this movie is going to be the most controversial Generation I movie of all time. So up to date.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. I see the comments already on everybody, and it's always a controversial subject. So
Absolutely. Well, let's start from the beginning. Kind of, I've been talking to the guys this week, the star in the film. And obviously, I don't want to give too much away about the film because I want to make sure people learn about you and everybody else in the film. But if you were to say to the people one reason, specific reason why you chose to be a natural bodybuilder, I'm sure it's multiple reasons, but for some people it's health reasons, for some, they had some kind of condition or something. But for you to choose that route, what was the one main reason?
I truly believe that it is because of health reasons. I grew up, skinny, playing football, but I had asthma. And so growing up, it was like hard for me to get healthy. And I love football. That's still my first love. And I wanted to play football. I followed all the football players and teams and stuff. And um, every time I went outside, I'd have asthma attacks. My father would have to help me out and stuff. And so I never wanted to do anything to compromise my health. And even when I went to high school playing football, my focus is on being healthy, eating the right foods, being very athletic. And so even when, you know, a girl or something would say, "Hey, do you want to go smoke and do this with me?" I was like, "Nope, can't do it." And also in my family, I saw a lot of drug use. I saw a lot of alcoholism, things like that, and it just wasn't appealing to me. I didn't want to be at that level of taking something that's going to alter the way I look and feel. So it was never really an option for me.
So it was a big moral issue with combined with the
Moral,
health issue. I see. That's
yes,
interesting.
exactly. Yeah.
So the biggest, and the reason why we made this film is because for the last 2 years, I've been getting a lot of messages, emails, letters, even people just asking, saying that Generation Nine only covers enhanced athletes and so on and so forth. So I really wanted to kind of get into this world. And now that we made this film, a lot of criticism that we're getting is that, oh, you're only using those guys in the film are liars, basically. They all enhanced. They all actually using steroids, but they beat the test because it's easy to beat. And they just kind of, or they cycle before the competition and they get off of it right before. And so many different things I'm getting. Now I'm not an expert in this, so I can't really reply. But you, as an expert and as a bodybuilder, how would you reply to this criticism?
You know, I, the way I would respond to this is, there's always going to be those 10% that are going to cheat the system, that are not honest and trying to get that extra edge. But, there's the majority of people that are trying to compete, especially this is talking about natural federations, not, NPC or IFBB. But in the natural federations, the majority of people, they have, the honest intentions of competing natural, doing it the right way, being healthy and all that. I really feel that, yeah, like especially with the INBA, PNBA, you're going to get caught. We've got the wall of shame where if you, are cheating, you've done drugs, you get caught with an illegal substance, you're going to get called out, you're going to fail, you're going to be suspended. So I really feel like if you don't know what you're getting into and you're going to try to cheat the system and say that you're natural just so you can kind of get a title because you can't compete against the enhanced athletes and be successful, then that's on you. I've competed even with the NPC before I even knew about it, natural federations, and I just thought myself, I'm going to try to get as far as I can without taking anything. I thought kind of naively that I could do it without taking anything, and I only got so far. But when I came in contact with the Keiko's family and the ABA, INBA, PNBA, there's a whole new level, whole new attitudes and characters of the people that they are drug free, they live the drug free lifestyle. You can tell by the way they look, by the way they act. Um, And so, yeah.
And in fairness, people do get caught a lot in the organization. I know WADA
Yeah.
conducts the tests. Even when we were filming, actually, people got caught, and it's going to be shown in the film. But
Nice.
you know, does it bother you, for instance, when people question if you're natural? Like, does it bother you when people criticize and call you and other guys liars? You know what I mean? Does it bother you, or do you just ignore those type of comments?
Yeah, I ignore it. I honestly take it as a compliment because if they think that what I've done um, is so, I guess, outstanding or exceptional that I have to take something to get there, then that makes me feel good. That means I'm doing something right. But I really feel that, and I've been pretty lucky because I'm not one of the guys that are, super freaky looking. I can get in really good condition. I think that's what's helped me be successful in a sport. But honestly, people that know me and follow me, of course, you can look at a picture of me and be like, wow, you must be 6 foot, 250. But when you see me in real life, I'm just a normal guy. I'm 5'9", maybe 195 off season, nothing crazy spectacular. So I don't really get that type of, feedback where saying, oh, yeah, I must be not natty and this and that. And if I do get it, you know, I still take it with a very moral high ground of being like, you know what? Thanks for the compliment. I've been drug free for years. You can look at my progress pictures, and it is what it is. So,
What do you think the organization or WADA or you guys as a collective can do to maybe what can they do to really show more of the natural status as far as the testing, legitimacy of the testing, and maybe show to the world that it is 100% proof that all these guys, because even if you really think about it, even in the mainstream sports like UFC, people do get caught there as well, and they also monitor it very closely. So essentially, it's almost impossible to have a 100% proof system, right? Somebody will slip through here and there, but I mean, they do get caught, right? I mean, it's almost impossible to show that it's 100% system. Like nothing is 100%.
yeah, you're right. Nothing is 100%. All you can do is the best that you can. WADA is very comprehensive, and the list that they have, the banned list. I mean, it's pretty much everything. So you just have to hope that the lab that's conducting the tests can give out a very detailed, result of the test and what it looks like, so that every competitor that is tested, you can see point blank, this is what you're tested and your levels, and so that you're on an even playing field. I know with the INBA, PNBA, they've always wanted to go above and beyond and even go past water testing, blood testing, DNA, all that. But as we know, it's very expensive. So unless really these federations get that kind of, you know, finances and budget to really take care of that kind of testing, it's going to always be tough. And you just have to really take into so many things into account. Just like you said, with UFC, football, baseball, you'll see people, they're huge, they're muscular. It's hard to tell if they're taking something beforehand and knowing the cycle of when to take and when to get off, or if they're truly natural or not. It's really impossible. It's just, you got to do the best you can, and, take someone at their word. And if they get caught, they get caught. So.
Have you ever showed up to a competition and went backstage and then saw somebody there and then you were questioning if they were natural and you thought they're cheating? You know what I mean? Have that ever happened to you?
Right. Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't see that. There's always signs, whether it's, the nipples, the hardness of the muscle shape, sometimes even just the attitude of the competitors. Sometimes when they come back there and they're extra cocky or just not as friendly, there's just a different type of personality when it comes to a natural bodybuilder. The majority of them are very humble, especially within the INBA, PNBA. We're just like a family. So when you see people from all these different countries, it's almost like you're seeing family again. But if you see those competitors that come out and they're, like I said, a little bit extra testosterone flowing through their bodies because of something they may be taking, you have to question it. But there's always definitely a look too. You can only get so hard as a natural bodybuilder. You can only get so dense as a natural bodybuilder. So those tell signs that we can look at as far as the judges, as far as the promoters, as far as the federation president. We can see those things, and those would be the first ones that will come in line to get tested, and if something's bad. And if they pass, hey, kudos to them, you know.
So what happens to those? Let's say you fail the test, right? You get banned for life. You go on a wall of shame, and what do you do after that? What do those guys do? Have you known somebody that failed the test and like so they out of the federation, obviously? Like what do they do? Just they go compete for other organizations, or what do they do?
Yeah, I've seen them compete with other federations, even sometimes other natural federations. So it's tough because, there's not that collaboration of all federations to say if this person failed that they are no longer able to compete, period, as a natural bodybuilder. Taking those um, failed tests and putting them somewhere in some kind of database for that athlete so that they're no longer able to compete in federations. In fact, the competitor that failed in this federation recently at the Olympia failed before, and there's others that have done that. So it's kind of hard to keep track of all that. You're never going to be perfect when it comes to making sure that those that are banned are not able to compete as a natural anymore. So obviously, a lot of them that fail also will go to the NPC and just try their luck there. And there's been a few natural bodybuilders that just, they just go that other route because that's the only thing that's available to them. And then that's going to be their new federation of choice. So.
You know what I was wondering? If let's say, because as a man, right, you have a testosterone level, right? What's healthy male supposed to have at a certain age, right? So what if a male, you don't take steroids for bodybuilding purposes, but your testosterone is just naturally low, let's say, and you go to a doctor, you get prescribed, testosterone replacement therapy, and you get dosages that, not bodybuilding dose. I want to make sure people understand the difference. We're talking about to bring your testosterone levels to normal, let's say, for a healthy male. Would that be considered cheating? Would that be considered taking steroids in this organization?
In this federation, it's really up to the federation president, Denny Keikos, Diana Keikos, Denise Keikos. If you're getting some kind of hormone replacement therapy or things like that, and it's within a certain level to help with your medical condition, then they can make that decision on saying, what, this person can compete. But you have to have a official medical chit from that person's, doctors to say that you're needing this for that reason. If it's for personal reasons, because you just, you have a low testosterone, you may be having issues or with whatever, and then you're trying to use that level or maybe get a higher dosage in order to increase your muscle mass, and everything else for bodybuilding and fitness, then obviously that's cheating because you're not using it for the intended use, which is for low testosterone or maybe some other health reasons. So it's once again it's kind of a judgment call. There's a lot of people that you can look at and say, you know, even if they take things like that, it's not going to help their physique get to the point where it's going to be able to be competitive in a certain level, maybe turn pro or whatever. They're taking it just because they maybe just want to become an top amateur bodybuilder or something, but they may not be taking it for bodybuilding purposes. You can tell it's just for their medical condition. So